Welcome back to High School Sports Extra, presented by Nicolet National Bank. 224 teams with dreams of a WIAA high school football state championship remain alive heading into round one of the playoffs next Friday. But in the end, only 7 teams will raise the gold trophy in Camp Randall Stadium next month. The postseason brackets were released earlier today. Let's start with the top seeds in Division 1. As we saw in our game of the week, Bayport defeated Pulaski 42-0. to finish the season 9-0 and take home the Fox River Classic crown for the 4th straight season. The Pirates have won 36 consecutive games and are the highest scoring team in Division 1, averaging 51.6 points per contest. The ultra-talented Pirates also posted 6 shutouts this season and gave up only 31 points all year. 21 of that came week 2 against Preble. Kimberly clinched its 6th consecutive Valley Football Association North Division Championship with a 45-14 win over rivals Appleton North. The Papermakers lost their starting QB before the season, but still made it through a tough gauntlet of games and finished 9-0. After falling in the state finals by 3 points a year ago, Kimberly will be looking to win its 7th state championship in the last 8 years. The Makers start that journey hosting 8th-seeded Wisconsin Rapids Lincoln, a team they beat 55-21 back in week 2. The winner of that takes on the winner of 4th-seed Neenah and number 5 Hudson. Moving down the bracket, Appleton East back in the playoffs after a 5-year absence. The 3-seed Patriots go for their first playoff win since 1998 against DC Everest. 2 of the Appleton North's 3 losses this season came against conference foes ranked in the top 4. The Lightning are a 2-seed taking on Eau Claire Memorial. Here's where we find our other top seed, Bayport. They'll host Milwaukee Bradley Tech and Milwaukee Arts. The Pirates still looking for that first trip to state. Green Bay Preble is a 5-seed and will travel to Milwaukee to take on a co-op out of Riverside. On the bottom of that bracket, Manitowoc Lincoln is a 7-seed. They will travel to Milwaukee to play Marquette. Fond du Lac had 1 loss all year, and it was to Kimberly by 3 in overtime in week 3, yet they get a 2-seed. However, they are on the opposite side of the bracket and wouldn't have to go through the Papermakers or Bayport to get to state. They host Arrowhead Friday in the first round. It's time to turn the page for Pulaski. Yes, they fell 42-0 to Bayport in the regular season finale, but the 8-1 Red Raiders still earn a number 1 seed in Division 2. Before playing the D1 powerhouse Pirates, Pulaski allowed just 30 points in their previous 8 games, including 5 shutouts. And in the first round, Pulaski will play host to the school with the biggest enrollment in the D2 field this year, Chippewa Falls. They made it with a 3-4 record at the Big Rivers Conference. Moving down the bracket, we'll find our first 2 all-local matchups. 3-seed Kaukauna collides with number 6 Green Bay Southwest. Winner of that game gets another FRCC versus VFA game featuring 2-seed Hortonville and number 7 De Pere. The Polar Bears' only loss of the year came to 4th-ranked team in D1. That's, of course, Fond du Lac. Time to discuss Division 3, where West De Pere finished as the unbeaten conference champs in the Bay for the 2nd straight year. Jack Batten's team is the highest scoring squad in Division 3, averaging more than 50 points per game. The Phantoms take their revenge tour to the playoffs, where they feel they have unfinished business. Last year, Catholic Memorial, if you remember, came back from a 24-point deficit to defeat the Phantoms for the D3 state championship. And by the way, the Crusaders dropped down to D4 this year, so West De Pere won't have to play them, but they do have to take care of their own business, and they know that. They take on number 8 seed Shawano in round 1, a team they beat 42-zip back in week 1. Ashwaubenon earns a home game. They will welcome in Grafton. Fox Valley Lutheran is one of the best 6 seeds you will see in this field this year. The Foxes just 2 losses in the tough NEC. They'll travel to take on another 2-loss team, New London, out of the Bay. Menasha is a 2-seed and will match up with Whitefish Bay. The Blue Jays could see a rematch with conference rivals West De Pere in the state quarterfinals. That was a wild 56-42 game the first time around. On the other side of the bracket in D3, East Central champs Plymouth. They get a 2-seed and will host Wisconsin Lutheran. New Berlin Eisenhower was the top seed in that group. Why? Because they gave Plymouth their lone loss in non-conference action in week 1. A pair of local undefeated conference champs earn top seeds in Division 4. They're also the top 2 ranked teams in D4. Kiel is the 3rd highest scoring squad in the division, averaging nearly 43 points per game. The Raiders ran roughshod through a competitive Eastern Wisconsin Conference. Speaking of tough leagues, Freedom dodged landmines week in and week out to complete a perfect regular season in the Northeastern. A third of their games were decided by a single score. The Irish get Northland Pines in round one Friday. Winner of that one will take on St. Croix Central or Osceola. And then it's an NEC rematch as we move down the bracket. Wrightstown beat Little Chute 10-3 last month. And Friday, it's a rematch at round one. Our other local top seed, Kiel, kicks off postseason action against Campbellsport. An interesting 5-4 there as well. 5-4 Xavier travels to 6-3 Denmark. Some more all-local pairings in D4. Ripon goes on the road to battle Berlin. And second-seeded Sheboygan Falls faces off with Winneconne. No top seeds in Division 5, but Peshtigo will play one. They traveled to number 1 Amherst Friday. Laconia will take on New Holstein, Kewaunee only loss all season. That came to the top team in D4, Kiel, but the MON LPC Large Champs still get a 2 seed anyway. They host Omro in round 1, while Chilton, a 3 seed, welcomes in Wittenberg Burnham Wood. No top seeds in D6 either. On the left side of that bracket, 3 seed Bonduel challenges Coleman to a duel, and Manawa, well, they're going to bring the balloons when they play host to Partyville. Har har. It gets interesting on the other side of the bracket, though. Defending D5 state champ St. Mary Springs is actually the biggest school in Division 6 this year. But an 0-2 start may have kept them from the 1 seed. The flyaway champs take on Random Lake in round 1. D6 runner-up Racine Lutheran is the top seed in that group. And finally to Division 7, where undefeated Hilbert earns the number 1 seed in their group. The Runnin' Wolves take on Rosholt at their place Friday. Reedsville is a number 6 seed. They will hit the road to take on Brookwood. The Knights from Lourdes Academy in Oshkosh will host Hillsboro. All right, I'm sick of talking, so it's almost time to take it to the house. But first, it's the Local 5 Top 5 Plays and Team of the Week, so keep it here.